Hi, I'm Ellen Harris from my historic district. Located directly southeast of the Landmark District is another of Savannah's historic districts, Eastside, which is comprised of several sub-neighborhoods. Bounded on the north by Gwinnett Street, on the south by Anderson Street, on the east by Cedar Street, and on the west by East Broad Street, this area was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2002.
I grew up in this neighborhood. We moved here in the early 60s, and I remember distinctly that the African Americans in this area pretty much stayed within this area because of segregation and other things. We didn't venture too far from the neighborhood.
Building began in the East Side in the early 1900s, a suburb connected and growth spurred by the latest form of transportation.
The railroad system was put into place, and so you had a lot of people who worked for the railroad, and that's where you see a lot of the smaller single-story homes. That's where the workers actually used to work, and the two-story homes was for the middle class. One of the things is people don't know is streetcars used to run through the neighborhood.
And so I would create some of these elements.
Jerome Meadows moved into Eastside 20 years ago. Into this ice house on Waters Avenue, he's made into an art studio.
It lends itself to that sense of a community, you know, where you're not inundated with people who are showing up for events. But if you walk this, you know, it'd be great if there was a coffee shop and you would walk to the coffee shop and there would be other artists in there lazily waking up from a night of working in their studios, and community people who would be able to interact with that. You know, seeing artists as viable members of the community.
I think that as time goes by, there are things that are going on in the neighborhood. The Wheaton Street corridor now is being developed. A Waters Avenue restoration project is going on. And so what basically is happening is we're taking on that historic look. And so it's moving from the downtown area, moving to our particular area.
Which has a lot of history. Freddie Patrick is directly involved in the neighborhood in many ways. His position as Executive Director of Eastside Concerned Citizens Neighborhood Association and as past president worked diligently with citizens to formulate the application for Eastside to gain status on the National Register of Historic Places. For him, it was an easy sell.
First of all, this is an extremely beautiful neighborhood because we have a lot of the tree growth that goes over it, so it gives you that sort of historic, sort of antebellum feel to it. We have a lot of old historic homes. In fact, the homes that are in our neighborhood will never be built again. The old fireplaces and wood, so the architectural structure is still very strong in the neighborhood. The trees, the architects, so all that makes this a real beautiful and unique neighborhood.
Patrick says his community is stronger than ever. Citizens care about Eastside, Meadows, and Collinsville. It's not only about preserving the deep history, but working together for the future.
Over the last 7 to 8 years, we formed a real good partnership with the police department. Residents have worked together, and now we have gone from one of the least desired neighborhoods to now we're back to that point where we're probably one of the most desired neighborhoods.
Eastside is predominantly residential and an extension of the downtown grid pattern. Many of the small businesses are located along Waters Avenue, a north-south artery in Savannah. For my historic district, I'm Ellen Harris.